Hello again from my front porch. It is a balmy, blistery time in Iowa right now, which figures because we've started the state fair here, and it's pretty traditional that when we hit the state fair time, that's when it becomes blisteringly hot and oppressive humidity, and this year is not disappointing. Now, it also can be wet and rainy at the fair, and so far the fair's only been going for a couple of days and we've already had all of that. In fact, today alone it was wet and rainy, stormy, heavy this morning, and now it's sunny and humid and hot and overwhelming. So I was on track. Good job. I'm actually kind of used to the heat though, because last weekend I was in Florida visiting Ashley and Josh and Ellie down at their home down in the Alachua, Florida area. And it actually was really, they had heat warnings down there, and that's pretty hot even for Florida, you know, when they're doing that. One of the days I was there, the last day I was there, it was going to be under 100 degrees, and that was going to be the cool day. So because of that, we didn't do a lot of outdoorsy kind of stuff. The stuff that we did was mostly indoorsy kind of stuff, including we took Ellie to her very first movie in a movie theater. We saw this cartoon movie called Bad Guys 2. I'd never seen Bad Guys 1, but fortunately the plot was not that difficult. I was able to figure out who the characters were and what was going on. But still, it was fun. The movie was cute and it was enjoyable, but of course for me, the great thing was Ellie wanting to sit with me, and in fact, Ashley took some pictures. One of my favorites. I'm going to slip in here. This is Ellie sitting on my lap. We were really close towards the screen, and so I had my chair leaned all the way back, and then she was just laying on my tummy, watching the movie and eating her popcorn and stuff. I thought that was really awesome. That was great. But the thing that I wanted to really focus on actually is dealing with Ellie, something that she triggered, that she prompted for, and it starts with the story of this bracelet. See this colorful bracelet that I've got on my wrist here? Ellie made this for me. Well, there's a little more to the story than that, and that goes into what I want to share today. See, let's start with the background, okay? Ellie made this in the nursery at church last Sunday. Ashley actually had nursery duty, so Ashley was the one running the nursery when Ellie was in there, and they made these bracelets. I don't know if they called them friendship bracelets or love bracelets or whatever, but the kids were encouraged to make them for somebody else. So when church was done and the kids were being released, Ellie came running out of the nursery waving this bracelet, and she ran right past me. Blew me off completely. Now, she already knew that I was there. We'd hugged and joked around stuff before, so it's not like she was completely, but she was on a mission to deliver this to the person who it was actually made for. See, there was a little girl there. I'd say she's probably about 5, maybe 6, somewhere in that range. So older than Ellie, but still, a friend. Ellie really likes her. So Ellie ran to her and gave her this bracelet, and she was really excited. Oh, well, thank you, Ellie. And so that was fun. Then later, though, Ellie, I'm hanging out with Ellie, and we're goofing around, doing some stuff, and in fact, we had just taken a selfie out in the foyer. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. We'd just taken a selfie of me holding her, smiling, and she's holding one of the tumblers from the church, the River of Life Church there. And so we're enjoying that, and I put her down on a chair right there, and I'm standing there, and this little girl who she'd given the bracelet to comes out with a really sad, long face, and she's got the bracelet in her hand, balled up like this, and she comes out and she offers it up, and she says, "I have to give this back." And I took it and I was like, "What? No. This was for you. It's for you to keep." She goes, "No, my mom said I have to give it back. I can't keep it." And then she turns and walks away. Now, she didn't say anything more about it, but Ashley and I over lunch deduced that what probably happened is, see, little girl has a little brother. And little brother also thinks he is Ellie's friend. And once Ellie went away, there probably was a little bit of conflict over the fact that sister got this from Ellie and brother didn't get anything. from Ellie, and there was probably a little turmoil about that. And so Mom said, okay, the best way to solve this is just have to take the bracelet back to Ellie and tell her thank you, but no thank you. And we didn't get that part. We just got Mom says I can't have it, but still, that's and I don't know the family. Ashley does. So if that's the consensus, I have no reason to believe that's not what happened. Plus, I know kids. I know that's what very likely happened. But that's just the lead up. That's not the story. Okay? I'm just giving you that as the background information to how I came in possession of this bracelet and why I said Ellie made it for me. See, when Ellie blew past me with this bracelet running out the door, Ashley was still in the nursery, and I looked at her. I was, guys, brother, what's going on? And Ashley said, oh, she's just really excited. She wants to give that to her friend. And then Ashley said, now, they made these bracelets, but Ellie said she also wants to make one for you, meaning for me. And so I said, oh, that's sweet. That's nice. Well, so now you got all the details. Let's cut to the story at hand, okay? So I'm standing there. The little girl comes out, sad face, with the bracelet. And so now I've got the bracelet in my hand, bald, and just laying in my hand like this. Ellie is sitting right here, has watched the whole exchange with the little girl. And see, at 3.5 years old, you can never quite tell how a kid is going to react to something. In this instance, is Ellie going to be upset because her friend returned it? Is she going to be sad because she's going to interpret it that her friend didn't want it? Is she going to be oblivious to it? Is it not going to be that big a deal? Is it who knows? Who knows how she's going to react? And so when the little girl turned to walk away and I'm standing there holding the bracelet, I turned to Ellie and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to say. But before I could say anything, this little 3-year-old girl immediately says, Happy, because remember, that's what she calls me. I wanted to be called Grandpappy, and that was too much, and so they were going to shorten it to Pappy. But when she was younger, she couldn't say the first P very well, and so for her, she called me Happy. It apparently also had to do with the fact that every time she sees me, I'm smiling, which there's worse things to be known about. But so now that's just stuck. So now that is my name. I am Happy, not Pappy, but Happy. So there you go. And so I turned to her to figure out what to say, and she immediately says, Happy, put it on, put that on. And so I'm like, okay. And so I put it on, and she goes, I put it on, and she smiles, and she goes, I made that for you. I knew she had not made this one for me. I knew she made it for the little girl who she gave it to and who just brought it back. I did also know that according to Ashley, before all of this had happened, that she had said she did also want to make one for me, but she hadn't done that yet. This was the one made for the other little girl. But again, she returns it, and not only is Ellie not crushed, not only is she not offended by this, she immediately sees the opportunity to turn this around into another good, because she was really excited and happy when she gave it to a friend. I watched her give it to her friend, and she was all pleased and excited with herself. Oh, I'm glad you like it. But now that's all come to a crashing end, and she doesn't react to that part at all. She immediately says, hey, Happy, put it on. I put it on. She goes, I made that for you. I made this for you. And I just played along. I just went, really? Oh, just like the whole thing with the other little girl had not even happened. As if she had just handed this to me and I had just put it on directly from her for the very first time seeing it. And I said, oh, well, thank you. It's very nice. And by the way, just for the record, I've hardly taken this thing off since. Just so you know, I flew back on the plane with it. I went to work, went to business meetings with it, and I was over in Carroll this weekend. Carroll wearing it around, It's a great conversation piece. Everybody says, oh, that's cute. What's that? So then I get a chance to say my granddaughter Ellie made it, and immediately comes out the phone and here's pictures of Ellie. I love it. It's like bait to let a grandparent be able to brag about their grandchild. So anyway, here's the point that I want to get to. Now you could say, oh, I can't believe Ellie lied like that. Well, yes and no. She was going to make me one. It wasn't this one. Her heart did want to give me one. So it was more like, she stretched some truths and made up some others. But by the same token, as people have seen this bracelet on me and they ask about it, you know what I say? I say, yeah, that's from my granddaughter. She made it for me. Now, I know that's not the case. I know she didn't make this for me. But I'm not going to pause and tell this whole story of all of this to everybody else. Plus, I don't want people thinking that Ellie was a liar. Because here's the point I want to draw from this. I don't see this as her lying about the situation. I see it as a really great intuitive example by a 3.5-year-old of looking at a situation that has suddenly changed course from what was intended. A situation that she intended for her friend to have it, her friend wasn't able to keep it, but she also intended for me to have one and hadn't had a chance to make one. Suddenly, the synapses in that little 3.5-year-old brain go, wait a minute, lemons, let's make lemonade. She can't have it, he can, there is one, I can give it to him, everybody's happy. Well, except for the poor little girl who I think really wanted to keep it, but I'm sure Ellie will take care of her and her little brother at another time. Back to the bracelet here, this one though, as I've thought about this, I thought it was funny at the time, is humorous to be able to say, oh, wow, look how quickly she shifted on that. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, that little girl, she just handled that so well. So much better than a lot of adults do. A lot of us adults, when things don't go the way we want, it's crushing. It's debilitating. It's depressing. We retreat. We withdraw. We lash out. We fire back. We do, whatever. But here's this 3.5-year-old child that all she knows is, I have a bracelet that needs to be on someone that I care about. I want it to go to him. And so she did not say, well, Happy, since she can't have it, do you want it? Or she didn't say, well, Pappy, now you can have it. No. She just flat out completely rewrote the script. She, as they would say in the movie business, she retconned or she rebooted. Forget everything that's happened, everything that's transpired before this moment. Stop, draw the line, let's start over, reset. Happy, I made this for you. And you know what? I'm thrilled to have it, because in that moment, that became the reality. She took control of that situation. A 3.5-year-old little girl took control of that situation and said, you know what? This I wasn't expecting, but now this is what we're going to do. And it worked fine. And I was okay with it. She was okay with it. The little girl's mom was okay with it. And I was so impressed with Ashley. Well, I'm impressed with Ashley too. She's doing a great job as a mom, and she's gearing up to, give birth to my grandson come at the end of September. In fact, that was why I was there, because I had said I wanted to get down and visit him again before he came along, while it was still all about Ellie, because once she's excited about being a big sister, but she doesn't really know what that dynamic is going to be like. All of a sudden, now all the attention goes to this little kid, and she's going to be fighting to get attention. And at first, she'll be enamored with the little baby too, and helping mom and all that stuff. But there will come a point where there will be a little bit of friction, because that's always what happens. And so I wanted to make sure I was there at least one more time while it was just still all about Ellie, and that's it. And so that's actually why I was there. Anyway, Ashley's doing a great job. She's ready. She's ready. She's still got a month to go, more than a month to go, I guess. But she's ready, and they're getting along fine. Everything's going good with the baby according to the doctor visits and stuff. And I think they've scheduled to induce her. I think September 26th. I think is time. So that'll all be under control and good. But so here's Ellie make this decision. I was very proud of her. Whether that was fully her intention, whether her brain thought through it in that way or not, I doubt. I don't. You never know. But it just naturally, intuitively was something that she did. And it was so smart. It was so brilliant, and it was such a wonderful, positive way to reverse the situation or rewrite it in a way that we didn't dwell on the negative. We didn't dwell on what didn't work. We just picked up and went forward positive and happy. That's me. But I love my little bracelet. I do have to be careful. I don't want to wear it too much and get it dirty or get it broken somewhere. But as much as possible, I'm wearing this thing and I'm using it to brag about my beautiful, intelligent granddaughter every chance I get. Now the question is, can you do the same thing? When you have a situation where someone comes to you and says, I can't keep the bracelet you made for me, how do you respond? Do you, fine, I'll just throw it away? Or, I can't believe you don't like me. Any of the things that Ellie could have done, do we do the adult version of those things? Or do we pause and go, you know what, Happy? I made that for you. And now Happy's happy, and Ellie's happy, and I love having this bracelet on my arm. So, there you go. Learn our lesson from Ellie this time around, because that was a brilliant move as far as I'm concerned. And if you have a difference of opinion, tough. Not only is it my show, but it's my granddaughter. Be careful. All right, well, with that, I'm going to let y'all go. And I'll see you next time from my front porch.